Hey, Dennis here. Welcome back to the channel. I am in Florida, in Odessa actually today. It's the day after Christmas. And you know where I typically paint, so as you can imagine, I am not sad about this. And I've picked out a nice scene with some cypress trees kind of in the distance. And there's just kind of surrounded by these really cool pine trees and stuff like that, but I'll show you what I'm looking at here. This is like really dense across here, but you can see in that distance I really like that cypress tree line because it just has a really nice gray color which will help set it back really well. But anyway, I'll get a sketch going and we'll see what we can do with this. All right. So in the beginning of this painting, I'm working on getting just the big shapes in, and mostly the darks of those shapes. And besides that, working as fast as possible to get the canvas completely covered. And I'm trying to think a little bit about value here, but not as much as just focusing on those big shapes and getting this white taken care of as quick as possible. So now I'm starting to define some of the highlights in the foreground just to see the relationship of what that looks like compared to the sky. You can see I already have the sky pretty well developed, so that sets the tone for the lightest value of the painting. And I always try and move the brush in the direction that the object or the grass in this particular case is growing. So you'll see me occasionally pulling the brush up. I'll turn it on its side and pull it up. And then the next step is just to get in some of these branches in this tree. And this is actually one of my favorite parts of the painting process, because as things begin to take their position in the painting, the tree trunks and things really help define kind of where those things live in space. So and I'm using a just a number 2 and a number 1 rigger for this portion, and since it was backlit, it's extremely dark. There's not a whole lot of contrast or even highlights on these tree trunks. They're just very dark. In this last segment of the painting, I'm doing two things here to kind of finish this off. I am bringing up the highlights on some of the foliage and things that are right in the foreground, and at the same time you'll see that I'm strengthening the darks because there were some really deep shadows that were laying underneath those bushes that you could see against the flat plane of the ground there. Alright, so Dad and I are wrapping up here, and probably saw my dad sitting over there in the video. This turned out pretty good, you know, getting those blue-gray cypress trees laid in at the very beginning made all the difference in the world, so it just gave a nice neutral to bounce all these other colors off of. So I'll just show you real quick what we got here. That's what we got. Alright, and as always, thanks for checking out my video. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already a subscriber, and share it with somebody if you like it, and make a comment. I love it when you guys comment and we get a dialogue going, and I will catch you later.